Hey people, welcome to another video for the More Survivalist channel, and in this case talking about lighters. Now, I'm not a smoker, but I still understand that there is definitely a place in your EDC for some means of starting fire. Now, completely honestly, lately I'm not carrying much of a lighter. When I do, it's usually going to be either this one, mostly this one lately. Over the years, this is by far the one I carry the most. It is super heavy, but I love this thing, and this is how I have it set up. So one of the things that you realize is that, of course, you can have any big lighter or the clipper. Both of these are quality disposable lighters. Well, this one is not disposable. Big lighters made in France, these are quite nice. Clippers made in Spain, these are reusable, and you can even change the flints. And this one was super cheap and has that nice metal body. So this could be one of the best, like, somewhat little bit of a fancy EDC lighter that's still quite cheap, and it usually works well. Now, if you have a very clear need for a lighter as part of your EDC for whatever reason that may be, either that you're super sure about how important it is for you to have fire because you live in a cold climate area and you see the possibility of maybe having to start a fire so as to keep you warm in very cool temperatures. Well, whatever reason that is, you definitely want to go with a rule of three, meaning 3 is 2, 2 is 1, and 1 is none. And when I go with a EDC bag, I usually will have those three. I'll have a lighter, usually a disposable lighter in one of the pockets, some matches, and a fire steel. So as we have those 3 ways of starting fire. The best, most reliable way of starting a fire, matches in a watertight container. That is the safest way to go. Now, in terms of EDC, you usually want to go with a little bit of nicer quality things. That's where people usually default to your typical Zippo. Your Zippo that doesn't light, and it doesn't light because that's usually how people end up having their Zippos. I know, yes, I've been using Zippos for 40 years and I always keep them filled with fluid, and it works perfectly fine for me. That's great. If you're that guy, then fantastic, you found the solution for you. Since I don't smoke, and for me it's mostly about part of my EDC, I don't refill my lighters all the time. I mean, for years I did it. Even if I don't smoke, for years I had just remembering to refill it every couple of weeks, and it would usually work for me, and it was nice. But eventually it gets old as hell, and I started looking for alternatives. The best one I found, which is still my go-to alternative, is just a Zippo gas insert, which is still working right now. Years later, they still work. And I have a number of these, and these still work for me. These have to be some of the most reliable lighters I've come across. This is Wildfire. I have some from other brands. All of them seem to be pretty much the same thing, and they all work pretty well. So whatever it is that they're doing it right. Whenever you have a lighter, something will eventually fail. The valve or something, or this starts by, when you open it, it starts releasing gas right away as soon as you open that lid. And when you close it, it closes down. So any of these things will eventually dry, rot, or whatever the hell is, and will die on you. And the tank is not all that impressive. It's rather small. Again, not using it often, mostly for emergencies and as part of my EDC. But this is, as of right now, still my go-to option, even though this one is the one I'm using mostly these days whenever I have whenever I remember to have a lighter with me. And I actually like this one quite a bit. And it's a lot lighter than this beast right here, made by a guy called Relic Raider, who I don't think he's making these anymore, but anyway, these are quite nice, and I take care of those. I have a spare one that I'm keeping unused. So what I have here is an insert that is using plasma as your lighter. Now, yeah, this is a Zippo insert, and it requires to double tap on it so as to, extra safety measure. I'm not sure why, because it has the lid already. Why did they think it was necessary? Anyway, you have that. Now, another insert that I used was this one with a catalytic clicky thingy, gas jet. Doesn't work anymore. Died in less than a year. So bad on Zippo for doing this crap that is not reliable at all. I guess it has its warranty, but man, I don't feel that I want to bother even with it. Anyway, things just break. Now, I'm interested in the plasma lighter because since it's electric, there's no gas, there's no liquid, there's no messing around with anything like that. I just have to charge it like a damn phone or a flashlight, and that is super convenient. But I want to test how reliable the technology is. Now, this is the first one I bought, still working just fine. And yeah, you don't have a flame, so there's a little bit of a difference, but if you have any little bit of tinder, it lights up pretty fast, especially if you have any kind of fiber. So it's like a in-between spot between having a fire steel and having an actual flame. But it lights up paper, cardboard, anything that's a little bit flammable material. You put it in there, it heats it up super quick and it lights it up. This still working great so far. Rechargeable micro USB. This other one that's a lot more fancy, and I love this thing. I had two of these, one of these broke, so it's not exactly all that reliable, but I love how it lights up when you open it. It has a laser beam going through, and whenever you interrupt that light, it just starts in a very cool manner, and you have these lights telling you how much charge you still have. This has to be by far the most futuristic lighter I've ever seen, and I freaking love this thing. It is adorable. Yeah, it looks like straight out of what is it, like Star Trek or probably the Star Trek-y vibe to it is the thing I like. This one so far working, but one of the other ones died on me, so I'm not all that sure how long it will last. This one has been lasting fine so far, and this, let me just check, I think this is official Zippo. Yeah, there you go. So it's the official Zippo insert, so it should be reliable, but we already covered that part, and I just want to test it. If this holds on for a few more years, this will probably end up replacing the gas inserts that I'm so happy with so far. Cool thing, you can still use your Zippos. You have something that is pretty consistent in how long it lasts, as long as it has charge. Years later, these ones still hold, especially if you don't use it a whole lot. But this is something I'm pretty happy with and testing to see how it goes. And this takes a little bit of time, but this is where we are at this point. Guys, remember that you have street survival skills for all of the EDC stuff and practical survival, and for the economic aspect of survival and preparedness, Surviving the Economic Collapse. One of the best-selling books of survival and preparedness, over 1,100 reviews in Amazon, selling very, very well because of obvious reasons, but you want to catch your copy if you haven't done so already. See you on the next video. Take care.